hi, how are you? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever and wherever it is that you decided to watch this video. And for today, I'm going to be giving my review so far, my quick review, my first impressions, whatever you want to call it, on Assassin's Creed Shadows. And you can consider this sort of the epilogue to my Countdown to Shadows video series that I did a few weeks ago. And yeah, the game is finally here. I've been playing it for the past few days. So what do I think about this game that finally came out after 2 delays? Well, so far I'm like 20 or so hours in. I'm playing it on my PlayStation 5 Pro, and overall 20 or so hours in, this game is slowly becoming one of my favorite games in the franchise. Now, it hasn't beaten Origins yet, it hasn't beaten Brotherhood, it hasn't beaten Valhalla yet, but this game is definitely top 5 in the entire AC franchise, and that is for a couple of reasons. Let's get the obvious out of the way. This game is graphically beautiful. It is a technical marvel to view. The open world of feudal Japan is amazing to explore and just to look at. The weather system, the season system, everything from a technical standpoint of this game is amazing, especially on PlayStation 5 Pro with the 60 FPS and ray traced global illuminations. It is beautiful, and it might just be the best looking game not only of this generation but of the entire franchise so far. Another reason why I'm really liking this game is obviously for the gameplay. Now, for the first time since Assassin's Creed Syndicate, there's actually two protagonists with different playstyles. But unlike Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Naue and Yasuke actually feel different. One of my biggest worries when entering this game is that I was afraid that Yasuke was gonna feel useless because I thought, oh, Naue can do everything. She can stealth, she can parkour, she can combat efficiently. So why use Yasuke? And when I tell you that combat with Naue is hard, it is an understatement. She dies quickly. She is capable of handling on her own. She can fight like 1 or 2 targets at a time, but the moment you go beyond 2 targets, oof, it is bad, and she dies. She's not that strong. She doesn't have that much health or that many rations to heal herself up. It is a rough time with her combat wise, but with Yasuke, he is so much fun to play with, and he can't handle his own with more than 2 targets. He is a beast. He is amazing to play in open combat. And the stealth improvement with Yasuke and Naue, since they both can do stealth in this game, the light and shadow mechanics, the ability to go prone, and just, this is one of the best stealth in the franchise in a long while. And it kind of sucks that something like social stealth isn't in this game, because if it did have social stealth, this would have been on another level. But so far with what we have, the stealth in this game is amazing. Parkour, on the other hand, it's not Unity, it's not the Ezio trilogy, it's not 3 or Black Flag. It is still more in line with the parkour that we saw in the RPG games, maybe more so similar to Mirage in that case. It is a bit more simpler than those older games, but there is still massively improved over those other games, especially with Naoe, because she is fast. Once you hit that sprint button, she goes like the wind. She is crazy fast, and doing all those crazy flips to go down, using the rope to go up. It may be simple, but it is still fun to play with. I'm talking about Naoe and Yasuke. So far, I am really liking these two as characters, especially Yasuke. Yasuke's story so far is so intriguing, and there's a couple of things that happen in this game with him that I'm just like, whoa, what does this mean? Where is this going? And I really can't wait to see where he leads into. But in Naoe, at the same time, she also has intrigue to her character because of the events that lead to her on this journey. And there's a mystery to her character, really, surrounding her character and her journey that is so intriguing that I'm just glued to my seat to just find out what in the world is happening. And so far, this story is great to witness, and these two characters are great to witness, especially since the voice acting is very good. I was worried for the voice acting for Naoe at first. I thought she was fine, but nothing special. But the more I played with this game, the more I got used to her voice acting, and the more I enjoyed her voice acting. And so, yeah, overall, these two characters are great to play with. They are great to witness their stories. Another thing that I am liking so far in this game is this game's take on the whole Assassins versus Templar lore, this decades, centuries old conflict. This game has a very interesting take on this aspect of the franchise. Again, no spoilers, won't say what it is exactly that is happening in this story, but I am very intrigued to see how it plays out once I reach the credits of this game. All this leads me into the modern day and the Animus Hub. Now, I won't be talking about that much on the modern day story because that would be a bit too spoilery, but I will say it is there, and it's interesting to say the least what they're doing with the modern day in this game, but I'll just leave it at that. The big thing regarding the modern day in this game specifically, which is what this franchise is going to be focusing on moving forward, is the Animus Hub. This one I am more 50-50 on because, like, in terms of UI, this is sort of like living up to the promise of Unity's opening. If you remember, Unity opened with you using the Helix and just looking at all these different stories and just thinking to yourself, man, in one game I can explore all of these settings. And so we all know that didn't happen, but this is sort of, the Animus Hub is sort of living up to that promise. And so just going through the memories and looking at, Shadows, Origins, Odyssey, Mirage, Valhalla in timeline order, and just looking at the characters, that is cool to see. And it's going to be interesting to see how, when the Black Flag remake comes out, when Hexe comes out, to see how this will evolve. So that's going to be interesting. The one thing I am not that big of a fan of for the Animus Hub is the sort of battle pass system in this game and the challenge of the projects. Because how do I put this? It is very limiting. The battle pass, the only way to level it up is through these challenges, but there's only like 4 weekly challenges available at a time, and so you won't be leveling up the battle pass that much that quickly, so I don't like that. I really wish that changes in the future, but overall, so far, that is not my favorite aspect of the Animus Hub. But yeah, overall, like I said, I am really enjoying this game. I am really loving this game, and again, 20 or so hours, and this is becoming one of my favorites in the franchise, and I really can't wait to see how this journey ends. But with all that said, that is it for this video. Please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you have played Assassin's Creed Shadows, what do you think of the game? If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss more videos from me. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.